accountability and readiness.
The Republican-led Senate wants to have some of Trump's cabinet picks ready to be confirmed as soon as Inauguration Day, January 20th. The flame-fanning Santa Ana winds are whipping up in the Los Angeles area again today as firefighters and residents brace for another dangerous time.
Winds are increasing in the Los Angeles area, and there could be gusts of 70 miles per hour. National Weather Service meteorologist Todd Hall in California also says they have some of the driest air right now.
These extreme critical fire weather conditions that are coming together, that any new start could exacerbate the situation as far as the number of fires burning across Southern California and the impact on resources.
Firefighting planes could be affected. Red flag warnings are already in effect, and firefighters could be dealing with very dangerous situations. I'm Julie Walker.
Seemingly hundreds of law enforcement officials in South Korea have entered the residential compound of impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol in the capital of Seoul. It was their second attempt to detain him over his imposition of martial law last month. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 221 points. The Nasdaq dropped 43. More at townhall.com.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Government inspectors documented unsanitary conditions at several Boar's Head deli meat plants.
Not just the Jarrett, Virginia factory that was shut down last year after a deadly outbreak of listeria poisoning sickened more than 60 people and killed 10. Reports from Boar's Head plants in Newcastle, Indiana, Forest City, Arkansas, and Petersburg, Virginia, described multiple instances of slime, dripping condensation falling on food, mold, insects, and other problems dating back roughly 6 years. The U.S. Agriculture Department says there are now new, stronger measures to control listeria. Boar's Head says the violations did not meet their high standards. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Lawmakers in the Virginia House of Delegates passed a resolution on Tuesday enshrining rights to abortion, going against the wishes of Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. Traffic in New York City has dropped after the first week of new tolls.
That's according to preliminary data by the MTA. The First in the Nation program began January 5th, collecting $9 for most passenger cars entering Manhattan during peak hours below 60th Street. In the days since, total traffic dropped by 7.5% compared to the equivalent period last year. Transportation experts caution against drawing broad conclusions about the program after barely a week, and there are still several lawsuits pending against it. Julie Walker, New York.
The Princess of Wales visited the hospital where she was treated for cancer. She offered gratitude Tuesday to the medical teams who helped her and support to patients now undergoing treatment. Kate, as she is commonly known, conducted the solo engagement at the Royal Marsden Hospital in London. More at townhall.com.
This is a special presentation of high school basketball on WEEU, the voice of Berks and Leon. High school basketball on WEEU is brought to you by
Adelphia Seafood, American Diner, Bachman's Roofing, Solar, and Remodeling, Chick-fil-A, Cross Keys Insurance, Diefenbach Snacks, Elite Fuel Service, Houndstown Reading, Judd Firestone Plumbing, Kuhn Funeral Home, Overhead Door Company, Redner's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, Pizza Como, Reading Fight and Fills, Savage Auto Group, Schmeck's Villa, Shore Stay Best Western Hotel in Reading, and Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society.
Now for all the action, let's go courtside with Bob McCool and Rich Scarcella.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. WE's coverage of high school basketball continues. Tonight, we are in as the Exeter Eagles play host to the Governor Mifflin Mustangs. This is a crossover game in Berks boys basketball. The Mustangs in Division I, where they are off to a 4-1 start, including 11-3 overall on the season. The Eagles in top of Division II as we speak at 3-1. Exeter is 6-7 overall. It's the Mustangs, it's the Eagles, it's live on 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading, the voice of Berks and beyond. Our high school basketball coverage is presented to you by Savage Auto Group. And as always, it is available to you for free online. You can watch all of our coverage all season long, no matter where you are, at 8:30 WEEU Sports on YouTube. And as well, you can do it on Facebook Live on our 8:30 WEEU Facebook page. Now, however you want to do it, we're here for you. It's the Mustangs and the Eagles live from Rifton when we come back after this on WEEU in Reading.
Life too busy to cook good food? Let Schmeck's Villa prepare your gourmet dinner. With nightly specials Tuesday through Sunday, the fun family atmosphere and delicious food will quickly become a favorite night out. Visit Schmeck's Villa in Exeter Township for a meal you can feel good about. Whether you prefer seafood, a hearty landlubber's meal, or if you're looking for something sweet to cap your night, Schmeck's Villa will hit the spot.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent is Cross Keys Insurance. Get a quote today at crosskeysins.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
They say dogs are man's best friend, so they deserve the very best. Houndstown in Reading is a full-service dog daycare and boarding facility with spacious rooms, quality grooming, and plenty of room for fun. While you're away, the dogs will play. Houndstown has all the enrichment your pet needs for their physical and social health. They offer a variety of spa services like baths, nail trimming, toothbrushing, and dematting. Give Fido the finest at Houndstown, 610-947-1441, or visit houndstownreading.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Kuhn with Kuhn Funeral Homes. Since 1937, our family has been committed to serving our community. We now have 3 active generations, as I have the honor of working with my father and son. With 5 convenient locations to serve our neighbors, Kuhn Funeral Homes continues to dedicate our family to your family. Thank you for believing in us, and we promise to always be there for you.
Welcome back to Exeter High School alongside Rich Garcella. My name is Bob McCool. Again tonight, high school basketball, Berks boys high school basketball. The Governor Mifflin Mustangs taking on the Exeter Eagles, and we are going to start, as we always do, talking about the visitors, but for a very good reason. The Mustangs, in a lot of ways, a eye-opening start to the season for the Mustangs at 11-3 overall, but more importantly right now at 4-1 in the division. You take a look at the teams in Division I going into this season, and you're looking at a team at a division that has Wilson and Reading and Muhlenberg, and now you add Berks Catholic into the mix, and you're thinking, wow, Division I's going to be tough. And right out of the gate, Governor Mifflin Mustangs, who went 3-8 last year in Division I, ultimately said, hey, we are here too. Well, they've already outdone what they did in the division last year by being at 4-1, but they have made a mark for themselves right away, Rich, by taking care of Muhlenberg. They beat the Mule 77-73. And then doubled down on it by beating Berks Catholic at Lloyd Wolf Gymnasium 54-49. And the Mustangs said, hey, we're here too.
That was the night we did the Muhlenberg-Reading game at Muhlenberg. And I remember getting that result. I'm like, whoa, you backed it up. You backed up your win over Muhlenberg with an impressive win over Berks Catholic. This is not a fluke. This is not a fluke. Governor Mifflin is the surprise team in Berks County. They are number 1 in the league with a scoring margin of plus 15. That nobody is near them. Okay, they're 6-0 at home, coming off an 11-point win over Reading High. They have 3 losses by a total of 14 points, including one in overtime to Cumberland Valley. This is an impressive team. They've again, talked to first-year coach Garrett Etzel. They haven't accomplished anything yet, but I think they're on their way to doing so.
Well, I think that's where we start with, is the fact that that is the new sheriff in town, and that is Garrett Etzel. Now, when I say new sheriff in town, it's a new title, but he's not new to the town because he was a very good player for the Governor Mifflin Mustangs, about 20 or so years ago. Then had an outstanding career playing at Alvernia as well. And so when you say, well, what's different about the Mustangs? To Rich's point, it's not so much the players, because a lot of them are back. In fact, they are senior dominated when you look at the roster. So what's the difference? And the difference is what the coach is doing. Garrett Etzel has changed the complexion of this basketball program.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to cover Garrett in his last year or two. I can't remember quite, at Alvernia. He was the Pennsylvania Athletic Conference Player of the Year as a senior. Really competitive, fiercely intense player. And, you met him for the first time before the game tonight. And you wouldn't know that at just talking to him. But he's back at his alma mater. He had coached he was the head coach at Wyomissing last year. That was his first head coaching job. He's thrilled to be at his alma mater. He has stressed defense. He's changed the culture. He's changed the identity of this program. And right now, the Mustangs are rolling.
And to Rich's point about the defense, they're giving up less than 46 points per game so far on the season. One of the reasons why that margin of victory is so substantial for the Mustangs is because of what they're doing to shut down other teams. But that was kind of his philosophy. Like, look, if we're going to play the Reddings and the Wilsons and the Muhlenbergs, we're going to have to be better defensively because we're not going to outscore them. We got to be better defensively. And so far, that's worked like a charm. Again, now they did outscore Muhlenberg in the first game, 77-73. They beat Berks Catholic by holding them to less than 50, 54-49. And as Rich said, on Saturday, they beat Reading High on their game at 64-53. So it's been a solid start. The lone loss for the Mustangs was that loss in division play was to Wilson at 44-41. So that's the wheelhouse for the Mustangs in terms of what they want to do defensively. The question is whether they have offensively. Well, it starts with Matt Kaler, one of the key returning players and a returning starter. But Matt Kaler was a good player last year. He's taken it up another notch this season. He's at 16-plus points per game. He's been over 20 on 4 of the Mustangs' 14 games on the season, and he's no longer the guy that just kind of floats around outside the arc and shoots threes.
Yeah, Matt Kaler has developed his game. He's not just a shooter. He goes to the basket. He takes mid-range jumpers. Garrett Etzel said he has really worked hard in becoming an all-around offensive player. We know him from being the third baseman on the 2024 Governor Mifflin PIAA 5A state championship team. Matt is a really good athlete, comes from an athletic family. His sister Maddie played basketball at Governor Mifflin. His mom, Cindy, played basketball at Governor Mifflin. You're right, Bob. We saw them once or twice, and he was just kind of floating around the three-point arc. Now he's become more aggressive, more well-rounded.
And the other piece of it, to your point, about the fact that he was a piece of the puzzle of a Governor Mifflin baseball team that won a state championship last year. And I asked Garrett Etzel how much of that whole carries over to what he's doing in the basketball floor to say, you know what, I liked winning when we were playing baseball. I don't really like the losing thing in a basketball floor. And he said he thinks it's had a major carryover to what Mifflin's doing on the basketball floor.
I don't think there's any question that winning breeds winning. And Matt Kaler and others, but Matt Kaler especially, can show the younger guys and the guys who haven't tasted as much success on this basketball team, he could show them how to win. And, this is like you brought up a good point. I wanted to touch on this. This is a very senior-oriented team, and don't take that for granted. That's a big deal. And Garrett Etzel had to come in, and these guys, they were 3-8 league last year, 8-14. Excuse me. He had to change everything. He had to change the culture and the identity. and he had to get them to believe in him. And he did so, as he said, getting that week, the wins over Muhlenberg and Berks Catholic. He has total buy-in right now.
Yeah, and it's not always easy to do when you got kids who are in their last season of playing basketball. They could have been like, yeah, whatever, coach, I'm out of here after this season's over with. But they didn't. And I think a big piece of that is that he can show him his diploma that says Governor Mifflin. I think when you are one of them, and he lives in the school district, his wife teaches in the school district, all of that. So I think that helps the cause a little bit for him to change things around for this Mustangs crew, and so far so good, because the Mustangs have changed their season around, their program around immeasurably so far, with a good chunk of season still left to play. The Mustangs are in a prime position right now, coming into tonight's game at 4-1. They're a half game behind Wilson in the highly competitive Division I.
And also, it should be noted, they're 8th in the District 3 6A power ratings, and they look like they're in pretty good shape to make the 16-team 6A field. The other thing, Bobby, I mentioned their scoring margin is plus 15. Compare that to last year. They were minus 6. That's a big change. They've cut down. They've tightened up their defense. They're giving up 10 points a game less than they did last year, and they're scoring the ball better. And so this is not a fluke. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in February and March.
Well, let's just put it this way. The last time they qualified for the BCIAA playoffs was 2021. They lost to Wilson in the county championship that season. So that's what the Mustangs are looking at in terms of reversing the fortune. These young men were 8th graders when all of that took place. So that's what's going on right now for the Governor Mifflin Mustangs. When we come back, we're going to talk about the home team, the Exeter Eagles. It's the Mustangs and the Eagles tonight on 8:30 a.m. WEEU High School Sports, presented by Savage Auto Group. Continues with more of our pregame show after this.
When it comes to grocery shopping, you're a pro, and Redner's Markets is here to up your game with Redner's Ready. Shop online and save time. Orders can be placed as far as 4 days ahead or as little as 2 hours before pickup at your selected store. Your items are always handpicked, and our personal shoppers will accommodate any special instructions for your grocery needs. Plus, there's no difference between in-store and online pricing, no extra pickup fees, and you can redeem points from your Redner's Rewards membership. Skip the trip with Redner's Ready. Shop online at rednersmarkets.com.
Sure Stay Plus by Best Western offers a welcoming, comfortable stay for the business or leisure traveler, providing clean and cozy rooms at a reasonable price. Conveniently located at the intersection of Route 12 and North 5th Street in Reading, Sure Stay Plus provides a fresh, hot breakfast buffet, all-day coffee, free fast Wi-Fi, HD TV, fridge and microwave, and much more. Plus, business travelers have access to services such as copying and a meeting space. Call 610-371-0500 to book your stay or visit bestwestern.com.
Ahoy! Adelphia Seafood is your neighborhood market for the freshest seafood around, with locations in West Lawn, Fairgrounds Market, and Pottsville. They offer a range of delicious options from crab cakes, clams, fresh organic salmon, and succulent shrimp, as well as convenient take-home dinners and more. For more information or to place an order, visit adelphiaseafood.com or just call one of their stores. Enjoy top quality seafood and exceptional service right in your community at Adelphia Seafood.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all. From residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
Welcome back to Exeter High School again alongside Rich Garcella. My name is Bob McCool. Pre-game show continues. The Mustangs and the Eagles tonight in our matchup. And talking about Exeter, we got a chance to see the Exeter Eagles on Thursday night. Their big come-from-behind win over Berks Catholic. It has been an interesting week. It was an interesting week for Exeter last week. They're 6-7 overall, 3-1 in division. But here was their week. They started out with a game on Tuesday night against Daniel Boone, and they lost. Everybody went, uh-oh. This is not the Exeter team that's been around the last couple of years. I mean, what the heck? They were in a state championship a couple years ago. And then they went out and they beat Berks Catholic on Thursday night. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's the Exeter team. And then they had a wild one on Saturday in a non-leaguer against York. York beat them with a buzzer beater in overtime, 68-66. And in a lot of ways, that's been a microcosm of their season so far for Jeff Van Gorder in his second season at 25-17. But, Rich, if nothing else, that win that win over Berks Catholic very well may have been a season saver for the Exeter Eagles.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Jeff Van Gorder said that he wanted to play a tougher schedule, non-league schedule, and he has. He's really loaded up, and really it's a 6A schedule, and that includes Pencrest, which is undefeated. You mentioned losing to York at the buzzer. York could be one of the favorites in 6A when it's all said and done. He hopes that all these tough, close games will have the Eagles playoff ready come February and March. We'll see. But right now, they're battle tested. There's no doubt about that. And, this is a big game for them because this is a crossover game. And so far, they've got that win over Berks Catholic. And I think they still have to play
But Wilson and Reading.
Reading and Wilson, right.
Yep.
And so
and Muhlenberg, right.
Oh, that's true. They haven't played Muhlenberg yet.
Right.
So this is a big game for Exeter as well. They're 13th in the District 3 5A power ratings, seemingly in decent shape, but their work is not done.
That is for sure. One of the things that they've got going for them is they've got a great group of athletes on the floor. One of the things that Jeff Van Gorder talked about, and obviously Rich was not with us on Thursday night because, he was out covering some football game on Thursday night with Penn State and Notre Dame. But what he talked about was the fact that, look, he has been around this game for a long time as a player and a coach, but he was a college coach. He was an assistant college coach at 3 very good Division III programs at Carnegie Mellon, at Muhlenberg, and at Ursinus. He never had to deal with the fact that in high school, you got kids who were playing football in the fall.
Or soccer.
Or soccer or something else, and now coming for basketball. He never had to do that as a college assistant coach, and that's what he's had to deal with. And he said it's been different for me. And some of those players are key pieces of the puzzle to this Exeter team, and one of them has really kicked it into another gear. He was our MVP. He was our Reading Fighting Phil's player of the game on Thursday night, Jaden Ware. He is their stopper on the defensive side, but his offensive game has come up big as well. In his last 4 games, he scored 13 points per game.
Bob, I remember him coming off the bench in some postseason games 2 years ago and giving the Eagles a lift. And I know there was one game here, and I don't remember if it was against Gettysburg?
Either Gettysburg or Hershey, because they had back-to-back games. Yeah.
But I remember that, and I think up at Bald Eagle in the state semifinal, the same thing. He came off and made some big plays. And so he knows how to win. The other guy is Aiden Dobble. Aiden Dobble is a terrific linebacker in football. He's Exeter's leading scorer, averaging more than 17 a game. We know what he's capable of because he had a regular role on that state finalist team 2 years ago. I'm sure they're right now. It's January. They're finally getting their basketball legs after fall sports.
For sure. So it's now time for us to take a look at our keys to the game. They're brought to you by RE/MAX Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis. If you're buying or selling a home, Phil Macaronis is a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame with over 20 years of experience providing countless buyers and sellers keys to their real estate transactions. Call 610-670-2770. Ask for Phil Macaronis for the keys to buying and selling your home. Exeter plays host to Governor Mifflin, and Rich Garcella has his keys to the game.
Let's start with the visiting Governor Mifflin Mustangs. Key number 1 is run the Eagles off the three-point line. Brady Murray is their best three-point shooter. He will not start tonight because he's been dealing with an illness. Key number 2 for the Mustangs, smart, disciplined play in transition. Key number 3, control your emotions. Play your game. For the Exeter Eagles, what Jeff Van Gorder wants to do is have Jaden Ware slow Andrew Galantuomo, the Mustangs' terrific, exciting, energetic point guard. Second one is they want to slow down Matt Kaler. They're going to have Carter Redding guard him, and they want to slow him down and take him away from the basket. And the third one, Jeff wants to see them play efficient offense. He wants to see them shoot the ball better from 2-point range, not 3-point range. They shot 34% from 2-point range against York. He wants to see that improve greatly.
Tonight's starting lineups, as they're about to be introduced here at Exeter, our starting lineups are brought to you by Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society. They've been serving authentic homemade Italian dishes for over 100 years. New memberships are now being accepted for only $10. The facility at 311 Hazel Street in Reading is also available for rental for private parties, banquets, and celebrations. Victor Emmanuel, a taste of Italy right here in Reading. So again, for Garrett Etzel, first year at the head coach at his alma mater, Governor Mifflin. He was the head coach for Wyomissing last season after spending 5 seasons as an assistant coach for the Spartans. He was an 11-11 last year, 11-3 this year. Evan Byrne, 6'7" senior, is now a mix in that starting lineup with Matt Kaler, 6'3", and a senior at the other forward spot, along with Jameer Johnson, 6'3", and a senior as well. Stephen Mayo, 5'11", and a senior, and the point guard, Rich just mentioned him, the energy, as Jeff Van Gorder called him, Andrew Galantuomo, 5'7", and a senior. For Jeff Van Gorder's Exeter Eagles, Aiden Daubel, 6'2", and a senior, along with Braden Reinert, 6'3", and a sophomore, was really good against Berks Catholic on Thursday night. Gave them some really quality minutes. Carter Redding, 6 foot and a senior. Jaden Ware, 6'1", and a junior. And in the starting lineup tonight for this Eagles is Dylan Donato, 5'11", and a junior. Brady Murray, a little bit under the weather, but he will play tonight's game. He will come off the bench. It's the Mustangs and the Eagles when we come back to Rifton after this.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's potato chips. Legend has it, Mark Diefenbach loved kettle-cooked chips so much, he turned his kitchen in Berks County into the ultimate snack factory. Now, 60 years later, we're still crafting our chips with the same passion and the finest ingredients, right where it all began. Diefenbach's potato chips, available in all your favorite flavors when you need that PA-crafted crunch.
Are your garage doors noisy, squeaky, or moving unevenly? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening and closing them? Don't be left sitting in the driveway. It's time for a tune-up from Overhead Door. Starting at just $99, we'll inspect, lube, and adjust your garage doors so they operate smoothly. Call today and ask for a tune-up special from Overhead Door, your hometown garage door company since 1965. Overhead Door, we're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
Welcome back to Exeter High School as we get set for tonight's game of the Mustangs and the Eagles. Now time for us to take a look at our Bachman Roofing Solar Remodeling Spotlight. Whether your needs are residential or commercial, Bachman's makes the home improvement process easy. The Bachman family has proudly served the Berks County community for over 50 years. Tonight we turn that spotlight on the player we were talking about a little while ago, and that's Matt Kaler. Going to be a key component for the Mustangs at 16.3 points per game, one of the top scorers in the county. He's matched up on the other side with Aiden Daubel, who's averaging 17-plus points per game. That's going to be an interesting matchup in terms of two of the top scorers right now in the Berks basketball conference.
Bob,
so far.
I got to say this, and I'm doing this now with you for 3 years. I haven't seen too many teams from Berks County with the size that Mifflin comes out with here in the starting lineup, 6'3", 6'3", 6'7".
At 6'7", Evan Byrne jumping center, which allows Jameer Johnson, who was their real size inside last year, to move to more of a forward spot. A little bit of a hesitation on the jump, and Byrne actually touched it last. So the Mustangs in their visiting maroon with a gold trim will be on defense for Exeter, the home team, in their whites with the blue trim. Carter Redding handling the basketball for the Exeter Eagles, flips it around for Reiner, and on the backdoor cut inside for Redding, but he traveled with the basketball on their first possession. The Eagles will turn it over.
Got a little too anxious, had an open path to the basket, and took an extra step.
So the Mustangs will bring it back the other way. Stephen Mayo, Jameer Johnson, Andrew Galantuomo, Evan Byrne, Matt Kaler, the 5. Johnson going to launch for a 3 and bangs it. Jameer Johnson gets the Mustangs on the board first.
We saw Jameer Johnson last year. In the game that we had him, he got hurt. And I think that was a big reason why Mifflin struggled the rest of that last season.
5th 3 of the year. Daubel to match that from the top. No good. In and out. Tipped around a couple of times. Reinert battling inside with Byrne. Touched it last. It will go over to the Mustangs. So Governor Mifflin with a 3-0 lead and will handle the basketball. Right now, Galantuomo not handling it, if you will, with Mayo taking up the floor, but that doesn't last long. Galantuomo and around the outside against the Exeter defense. Byrne puts it on the floor. The big man kicks it. Johnson from the same spot. This time his 3 is no good, and Carter Redding flies in and pulls down the rebound for Exeter.
Looked like Exeter was playing like a matchup of some kind, maybe a 2-3 or a 1-2-2.
Dylan Donati gives it up for Carter Redding around the perimeter off the screen. Redding foul line jumper in and out. Galantuomo battling with Reiner, loses the battle. Reiner gets the possession back for Exeter on the offensive rebound. Here's Daubel. Turnaround jumper. Daubel buries the 2.
Daubel can score from anywhere on the court. Missed the 3 early. and hits the turnaround jumper.
His first points of the game against Berks Catholic on Thursday night was that half-court heave that gave the Eagles a bit of a bounce. They tried for the backdoor, deflected, looking for Byrne on the backdoor cut. Exeter forces the turnover, and now a foul called on Mayo, trying to steal it back for the Mustangs. Exeter will keep it following the foul on Stephen Mayo. Missing piece of the puzzle right now for the Mustangs is Ian Fleming, 6-foot junior, and Garrett Etzel really talked highly about him. They hope to have him back of a stress fracture in the foot, hoping that he'll get clearance by the end of January. They can get him back for the final stretch drive and hopefully for the playoffs as well for the Mustangs. Redding drives, dumps it off at the end for Reinert. Burns' presence defensively forces him to miss it, and the Mustangs pull down the rebound.
That's a pretty pass inside by Redding.
Yeah, I think Reinert wasn't expecting it was too good of a pass. And there's Gallon Tuomo hounded by Ware, gives it up for Johnson. He traveled with it. Jameer Johnson step left, step right, and the Mustangs turn it over for the second straight time.
Exeter is in a man-to-man defense, and that's what Jeff Van Gorder has usually played. This is his second season at Exeter, and that's what we've seen from him. They're a base man-to-man defense.
Yeah, but he's an upstate New York guy. He's got that Syracuse thing in him that he likes to every once in a while throw a 2-3 zone out of people. I think it's in the blood in upstate New York. Donati handles it across the mid-court stripe, swinging around for Redding on the right wing. Kicking it out high for Dauble, guarded by Johnson. And now to Jaden Ware. Ware post up to Reinert, up and over Byrne, and home for two.
That time Reinert made a really nice move. He got the ball in the low post on the left, turned to his right, and scored.
Jeff Van Gorder espousing the quality moments that Braylon Reinert gave Exeter against Berks Catholic, and he gives the Eagles their first lead at 4-3.
Again, it looks like an extended zone. Looks like almost a 3-2, Bob. Or a 1-2-2. It's hard to tell.
Mustangs have 75 threes, and here's a takeaway. Mustangs again throw it away as Aiden Dauble comes up with a takeaway. 3 straight turnovers for the Mustangs. Exeter with a 4-3 lead and the basketball. Redding drives to the left side, up and fouled.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the first one on Byrne. No, actually, it's on Kaler.
It is on Matt Kaler. His first, team second, putting Redding at the free throw line. We were talking about the football players making the transition to basketball. Well, Carter Redding's just been kind of a guy on the roster for the basketball team. His presence on the football field has certainly been made for the Exeter football program, but he has taken it to another level now, and this is senior season on the basketball floor, averaging 10-plus points per game on the year, and he goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line, and at the stoppage, Brady Murray will check in. Again, if you missed our pregame show, out with an illness, wasn't able to practice yesterday, was able to come to school today, so he was going to come off the bench, and he's in the game with the Eagles on top 6-3.
And he's their best three-point shooter by far.
He comes in, Donati goes back to the bench. Here's the backdoor cut to Gallon Tuomo. Kick out, Kaler 3 from the corner, no. Tipped around, Byrne tipped it, Redding has it, and he wants to go. Carter Redding back the other way. Kick out for Murray on his first touch from 3, bang.
He didn't look sick on that shot, Bob.
Brady Murray buries the 3, his 33rd of the season, and the Eagles lead at 9-3 on a 7-0 run for Exeter. And now on a reach-in foul, I believe they're going to get Jaden Ware on the foul for the Eagles.
Yeah, Ware thought he had come up with the steal, but he gets called with the hit on Byrne.
His first, team's first. 4:20 left to go in first quarter. 9-3 Exeter on top. Mifflin with the basketball underneath. Great start for the Mustangs offensively with the 3 from Johnson. Here's a left elbow jumper for Byrne. No good. Long rebound. Corralled by Mayo, and the Mustangs get another look. Kick around for Gallon Tuomo. Try to force it inside. Poked away by Reinert in the open floor. Exeter, Jaden Ware. No good, but a goaltend on Mayo. Count the bucket. Jaden Ware gets the 2.
Yeah, Exeter worked the transition game really well there. That's one thing that Mifflin hasn't been able to do. Garrett Etzel said they create a lot of offense with their defense. So far, the Mustangs haven't been able to do that.
4 straight turnovers for Governor Mifflin, and the last one leads to the bucket by Ware to make it now a 9-point run for the Eagles and an 11-3 lead for Exeter. Substitution for the Mustangs. Cameron Flairman, a 6'2 senior, will check in as Byrne comes out. Inside the halfway mark of quarter number 1. Here's Johnson from the baseline. Dumps it for Kaler. Kaler nowhere to go. Lots of defenders around him. Kicks it back for Gallon Tuomo. And now back to Kaler, to Johnson to the baseline. One more pass to Flairman. Blocked from behind. Ball loose on the floor, and Exeter comes away with it.
Exeter's definitely the more aggressive team so far, Bob.
Ware in transition for three, no. Long rebound is run down by Johnson. Flips it up ahead for Flehrman. Up and home.
That's the first time the Mifflin has been able to turn off defense into offense, something that they've relied on in this 11-3 start.
And a great find by Jameer Johnson to the feed up ahead for Flehrman just into the game and ends that run for the Eagles, makes it an 11-5 game in front of Exeter. Double baseline for two, no. Offensive rebound by Reinert, flips it out and saves possession out to Brady Murray. Great hustle play again by Reinert. Backdoor cut from Dauble to Ware. Defenders around him. Ware fadeaway, no. Another putback for Braylon Reinert, dominating the offensive glass.
Yeah, Exeter's getting a lot of second chances despite Mifflin's size. Garrett Etzel cannot be happy with that.
4 points for Reinert, an 8-point Exeter lead at 13-5. Here's Johnson going baseline. Offensive foul, Jameer Johnson.
Turnover number 5 for the Mustangs here in the first 5.5 minutes.
And now a technical foul going to be assessed as well, going back up the floor. Jameer Johnson just got banged for the tee, so that's going to be a double foul on Johnson. Said something, official didn't like it, called him on a tee.
Yeah,
so 2 fouls now on Johnson.
Again, one of the keys for the Mustangs, Garrett Etzel said they got to control their emotions. Jameer Johnson couldn't do that at that point.
So he's now going to come out. Evan Byrne is at the scorer's table, but first Brady Murray's at the free throw line to shoot the technicals. And then Exeter gets the ball, which they had anyhow. Murray at the free throw line is a 77% free throw shooter. He missed the first of 2. And makes the second. So 4 points for Murray. The lead grows to 9, and Exeter will get the ball now following the technical foul. So it's still Dauble, Murray, Carter Redding, Reinert, and Ware, the 5 on the floor for the Eagles with a basketball and a 14-5 lead. 2:30 left to go in the first period. Redding to the baseline for Dauble, right back to him. Mustangs man-to-man. Here's Reinert for a jumper from about 10 feet, no, and Evan Byrne has the rebound. Quickly up ahead, Kaler going to catch and shoot 3, no, and rebounded by Dauble. So Kaler still scoreless, and the Mustangs down by 9, back on defense.
He's only had 2 shots here in the first 6 minutes. Exeter doing a nice job keeping him away from the ball.
Dauble tries to go baseline, trying to spin away from Flehrman. Good defense, forces the traveling violation. Exeter looking for a hold foul on Flehrman. Instead, they get the traveling violation on Dauble. Only the second turnover for the Eagles. Mustangs have it back, down 14-5 inside of 2 minutes to go in the first period.
Yeah, Bob, this is like a 3-2. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a 3-2.
Mayo, Flehrman, Galantuomo, Kaler around the perimeter with Byrne inside. Mayo shoots over the top of it, no. Tipped by Flehrman, out of bounds to the Eagles. So the Mustangs started this basketball game, first touch, first possession for the 3, and really haven't been able to find a whole lot else from around the perimeter so far. The only other bucket for Governor Mifflin in transition. Eagles get it back.
Stangs 2 for 8 from the field so far.
Right side is Murray, guarded by Kaler, to the baseline and a push from behind on Galantuomo. And in the bonus, the Eagles are going to the free throw line. That's 5 fouls against Governor Mifflin. So in the bonus now, Carter Redding will shoot 2 for the Eagles. Exeter with a big game on Thursday night. We were talking about they're now having to start up to match up the games in Division I with Berks Catholic on Thursday, Governor Mifflin tonight. On Thursday night, they will host Muhlenberg here at Exeter High School as Redding makes the first of 2. Braylon Reinert now will come out for Exeter. And into the game for the Eagles comes Julani Orbe Ochoa as Redding makes them both, makes it a 16-5 lead now for the Eagles, their largest. 1:20 left to go in the first. Around to Kaler. Kaler this time goes baseline, up and under, no. Byrne comes through and gets the offensive rebound, and a foul is called. So a rare offensive rebound for the Governor Mifflin Mustangs, and it's the 6'7" senior Evan Byrne who comes up with it and forces the foul on Orbe Ochoa.
Yeah, Kaler drove the baseline because there's an opening in that zone because what Exeter's doing with the zone is to try to stop the Mustangs shooters.
Gallon Twum with a great fake to get some separation, and the senior makes the jumper. And now a whistle afterwards. It's a 16-7 game as Gallon Twum faked the pass. Everybody went towards the pass, and it opened up some space for Gallon Twum, who drained the jumper for his first field goal.
I think Mifflin was warned for delay of game.
So 1:07 left to go in quarter number one, and the Eagles with the basketball and the lead at 16-7. Murray off the screen for three. No, well short. Rebounded by Mayo. Mustangs looking to make a run here. Pushing up the floor. Mayo up and under. Count the bucket and a foul.
Nice. Really, really nice, strong move by Stephen Mayo. Has a chance at a three-point play.
So Mayo came down with a rebound on the bounce, and he had one goal in mind, and that was to score on the other end. He does, and gets the foul as well on Orbe Ochoa. So Mayo now to try to finish off this three-point play. He does not, but a lane violation going to be called here against the Mustangs. Looks like Flaherman came in too soon. Didn't matter, the shot was missed. So Exeter gets the ball, but it's now a 7-point game with 49.9 left to go in the period. 16-9, Exeter on top.
See if Exeter plays for one, but I doubt it. The way they move the basketball.
Jaden Ware for the jumper, yes. Jaden Ware frees himself up and makes it an 18-9 game now in favor of the Eagles. 4 first quarter points for Jaden Ware. It's a steal. Brady Murray intercepts. Murray up ahead for Redding. Count the 2.
Really not a good pass at all by Mayo. Easy turnover. Exeter converts it into a basket. They're up 11.
Great find by Murray. Carter Redding finishing just like he did on the football field. And Carter Redding's got 6 and lead right back up to 11 in favor of the Eagles. Mayo, Gallon Tuomo, a long 3 off the front of the rim and rebounded by Dauble. Eagles trying to beat the buzzer. Ware from just across half court. Good if it goes, it does not. And that brings an action-packed first quarter to an end. After 8 minutes here in Rifton, the score, the Exeter Eagles 20, the Governor Mifflin Mustangs 9. We'll take a timeout back with quarter number 2 here on WEEU in Reading.
Judd Firestone Plumbing is your trusted local expert for all your plumbing needs. With over 125 years of combined experience, our team has seen it all, ensuring top quality service and expert solutions every time. From leaky faucets to the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams, we handle it all with professionalism and care. Call today at 610-678-9080. Judd Firestone Plumbing, where experience and reliability come together for your peace of mind.
Elite Fuel Services has been one of Berks County's best-kept secrets for more than 20 years. They're a full-service heating and cooling company. Not only do they deliver heating oil, propane, diesel fuel, and gasoline, Elite also has a full HVAC team that is ready to tackle any of your heating or cooling needs. Just a quick Google search away, Elite Fuel Service. Read the reviews and give them a call. You'll feel part of the Elite Fuel family, giving you the peace of mind you deserve.
Welcome back to Rifle alongside Rich Garcella. My name is Bob McCool. Good start for the Exeter Eagles in quarter number 1. They're out to an 11-point advantage, 20-9. As we get set to start quarter number 2, it's the Mustangs with the basketball.
Now let's see if the Mustangs can get Matt Kaler on track here. He's 0 for 3 from the field, hasn't scored yet.
Good balance on the other side by the Eagles. All 5 starters for Exeter getting in the scorebook. As a turnover right away for the Mustangs, throw it away on the first possession of the second quarter. That is the 7th turnover for Governor Mifflin. And now Exeter will give it right back on their half. Up ahead, and Mayo will sky and slam it home. Stephen Mayo.
You can see why Mifflin is so good in transition, creating offense with defense. Really impressive by Mayo.
Even Mayo just 5'11" and just skied for that slam in transition. 20-11 as a result. Exeter now with the basketball. We're 50 seconds into period number 2. Jaden Ware to the baseline for Aiden Dauble. Posting up with a much smaller player guarding him. Gets him out of his way, and Aiden Dauble will finish inside.
That was a mismatch.
Mark Lachina checked in at the start of the second quarter, and Dauble seeing the advantage with Lachina just 5'9", and he takes him to school. Aiden Dauble gets his second field goal. 22-11 as a result, and now a whistle on the other end. This one, I believe, is going to be called against Dauble on the defensive end. That'll be the first on Dauble. First against the Eagles in the second quarter. Tom Gwizdowski, Justin Work, Adrian Burgess on our whistles tonight here in Rifton. Kick out from Kaler for Lachina. No. Rebounded by Mayo, and another look. Kick out for Kaler. Kaler will drive through traffic. Tries to finish with a left-hander. Rolled off the rim for him. And Braylon Reinert comes down with a rebound for the Eagles. On top by 11, Exeter has it back. Dauble, catch and shoot three. No. Tipped around and pulled down by Evan Byrne and Governor Mifflin. Mustangs quickly up the other way. Gallon Tuomo hit as he shoots the three and will shoot three at the line. Jaden Ware couldn't put on the brakes and ran into him. Foul on Ware is his second. So Andrew Gallon Tuomo will now shoot three for the Mustangs. Gallon Tuomo at 11.2 points per game is also an 88% free throw shooter.
Bob, Mifflin so far has gotten just 5 points from its top three scorers. That's Kaler, Johnson, and Gallon Tuomo.
And he misses the first of three at the stripe. Mustangs looking for something any way they can get it. And a team that's averaging 62-plus points per game as Gallon Tuomo makes the second. Jaden Ware, after picking up that foul, that is his second, so he's going to have to come out. And Donati, who got the start tonight, will come back in now for the Eagles. So it's Donati, Dauble, Redding, Reinert, and Murray, the five out there right now for the Eagles. As Gallon Tuomo ends up making 2 out of 3, and it makes it a 22-13 game in favor of Exeter. Mustangs looking like they're falling back into the zone defense here. Kick out for Donati for 3. Yes! And a quick timeout immediately afterwards as Jeff Van Gorder will call the timeout. So Donati buries the 3, and the Eagles will call a timeout with 6:05 left to go. Interesting decision there by Jeff Van Gorder to call the timeout. Looks like it's going to be a full timeout for the Eagles. Not quite sure what he has in mind. Maybe he wants to switch something up defensively. But as soon as that 3 dropped from Donati, Jeff Van Gorder immediately called for the timeout.
Might have been trying, he wants to discuss what to do without Jaden Ware on the floor, maybe offensively and defensively. Jaden Ware has 2 fouls, 6:05 left in the second quarter. Probably won't play the rest of this half.
Eagles with a now 12-point lead following the 3 from Donati. For Dylan Donati, that is just his 5th 3 of the year. But for Exeter, they have 2 threes in the ball game now. 1 from Murray, 1 from Donati, and now 84 on the season. Evan Burns, Stephen Mayo, Mark Lachina, Andrew Gallant, Matt Kaler, the 5 coming out from the timeout for the Mustangs. And the same 5 for the Eagles. Dauble, Reinert, Redding, Donati, and Murray, who they stay in that 3-2. Almost looks like even almost a 2-1-2.
2-1-2 maybe, yeah.
Burn from the high post. Gallon Tuomo trying to dribble into the teeth of that defense, and he's going to go back to the free throw line. Gallon Tuomo draws a second straight foul on the Eagles. This one's going to be on Reinert.
Gallon Tuomo's probably what, Bob, 5'9"?
He's listed at 5'7", and he might be generous at that.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in that 5'6", 5'7" range.
Fearless going to the basket. Fearless.
If he's on your team, he's the kind of kid, he's just a gym rat that the coaches love. And he makes the first.
He's the kind of kid, right, that would drive you nuts if you had to play against him.
Makes the first of 2 free throws. Sure, his head coach sees a lot in him. Former guard at Governor Mifflin, Garrett Etzel, loves to see what he's got from Andrew Gallon Tuomo. He said he's the kind of kid who's called me up and said, Coach, can I get in the gym this morning? As he cuts it to a 10-point game as he makes 2 in a row and now 4 in a row at the free throw line. Gallon Tuomo's got 6. Mustangs are now down 10. Exeter with Donati off the double screen. Will take it in. Finger roll, no. Rebounded by Mayo. Mayo head up, wants to push it up the floor, across half court. Kick out for Lachina, and the Mustangs will settle in. Mayo posting up down low. Finds Byrne. Byrne forces his way inside. Missed the shot. Murray pulls down the rebound. Donati pushes up the floor for Murray. Catch and shoot 3. No. Long rebound. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Dauble. It's Governor Mifflin basketball. Fielded on the bounce, by the way, by the man working the door on the other side, former Berks County Hall of Famer, former Reading High Red Knight standout Steve Rosignoli. Nobody's going to mess with Roz coming in that door, that's for sure. Here's Gallon Tuomo going inside. Floater up and home.
Yeah, he has no problems going into the lane despite his size. Scores on the floater.
6 straight from Gallon Tuomo, and the Mustangs are now within 8 with 4:50 to go in the first half. Murray again off the screen, trying to shake loose Mayo, who fights through that screen. Backdoor cut for Reading, blocked out of bounds, and it will, it's foul called. Wasn't sure if it was a clean block or not. It's not.
One official had a clean block, and the other one called the foul and overruled him, said he had a better angle.
And that's going to be on Mayo. That'll be his second. And it'll put Carter Reading at the free throw line for the third time tonight. Reading 4 for 4 at the stripe. And makes the first. Mayo now will come out with that second foul. And in the game for the Mustangs for the first time will become Javian Pletz. And Reading misses the second. So it's a 26-17 game in favor of the Eagles. And the Mustangs have the basketball with 4:35 to go in the first half. Pletz gives it up for Byrne, and a touch pass to Kaler. Missed a shot along the baseline. Fight for the rebound, and the possession arrow will give it to Exeter. Great look from Evan Byrne, but Matt Kaler couldn't finish.
Yeah, I think Kaler thought he got bumped, but no call. Kaler still has yet to score. Mifflin down 9, and if Mifflin can get this down to 5 or 6 for halftime, considering getting very little production from Kaler and Johnson, I think Garrett Etzel would take that.
Dalbel trying to get by Kaler defensively, can't do it. Gives it up instead for Reading from left side to right. And now back to Murray, who takes a look back over his shoulder as to what his head coach wants them to do as the Mustangs have come out of that zone, gone to a man. Kick out for Murray and 3. Yes!
We've said Murray's Exeter's best three-point shooter. He's got a pair of them tonight.
A dagger for the Mustangs in their comeback attempt is back to a 12-point Exeter lead at 29-17. Pletz, the quarterback for the Mustangs in the football field, gives it up for Gallon Tuomo. Gallon Tuomo gets by the defense, up off the glass and home. Nice use of glass.
Andrew is single-handedly keeping the Mustangs in this.
Got by Dylan Donati and then kissed it off the glass for the field goal. 8 in the quarter, 10 in the game for Gallon Tuomo. Here's Murray trying to dish it inside. The ball was kicked by Pletz. It'll stay Exeter basketball on the kickball. Ten-point difference with 3:23 left to go in the first half, and Exeter has the basketball inbounding underneath their own bucket. Inbounds for Murray, swings it around for Dalbel, and right back to the inbounder Donati. Murray posting up down low, double team, forces a shot up and off the glass and home.
Brady Murray liked the matchup there and scores from about 5 feet.
5 straight points for Brady Murray. He's got a total of 9. And the Mustangs, with 3 minutes to go, down by 12 again. Here's Kaler, kicks it back. Pletz for 2, baseline, got it.
Good look by Matt Kaler. Pletz scores his first points of the night.
31-21 now. The Eagles on top. Donati, nice crossover, dribble, drives. Byrne there defensively to help out. Outlet pass and Byrne up ahead for Kaler in transition. Count the bucket, and he's fouled. Tough finish for Matt Kaler, but he finally gets the bucket and is fouled as well.
And finally gets on the board with 2:38 left in the first half. You know, I'll give him credit. Matt does not look upset. He's kind of kept his composure, even though he struggled to score. And that time, that was a really strong move in transition.
Carter Reading gets called for the foul. It's his first, but Kaler with a chance to make this a 3-point play if he can finish at the line. And he does. 31-24 now our score. It's a timeout called on the floor. We'll take one as well. We'll all take a breather with 2:38 left to go in the first half. Exeter 31, Governor Mifflin 24. More high school basketball presented by Savage Auto Group when we come back after this.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
You're listening to 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading alongside Rich Garcella. My name is Bob McCool. High school basketball tonight. More of it for you on Friday night. We will be in a Division III-4 crossover for the first time in this season. On Friday night, we'll be at Wyomissing as the Ole Lynx and Wyomissing Spartans go after one another. Friday night from Wyomissing, Ole at Wyomissing, live here on the radio. And, of course, all of our games are available on a free video stream on our YouTube channel. It's 830 WEEU Sports, and they're also available to you on Facebook Live as well on our 830 WEEU Facebook page. Following the Governor Mifflin timeout, the Eagles with the basketball. The Mustangs trailing now by 7 after the three-point play by Matt Kaler. 31-24 Exeter on top in the hands of Brady Murray. Kaler almost stripped it away from him. Now Murray trying to attack. Bounces it to the corner instead for Dauble. And around for Jaden Ware, back on the floor for the Eagles, playing with 2 fouls. Dauble, baseline, right back to Ware. Ware will drive inside, kick. Redding for 3, bangs it home.
Big 3 by Carter Redding.
And with that, it's right back to a double-digit lead with Carter Redding dropping his first 3 of the night, his 13th of the season. Gallon Tuomo, Flaherman, Kaler, Byrne, and Pletz, the 5 on the floor for the Mustangs. Gallon Tuomo slips, dumps it for Flaherman, spins away from a defender. Bounce pass, and one more pass inside to Byrne, but he traveled with it. Evan Byrne tried to step away from the defense, which was sagging on the big man, and traveled in the process. Mustangs turn it over for the 8th time. But quite honestly, the first time in a while, they had to turn it over in their first possession of the second quarter and had 7 turnovers at that point. Their first since now comes 1:40 left to go in the half. And it's a whistle and a foul called underneath. It's going to be...
I think Andrew Galantuomo drew an offensive foul.
He did indeed. Wasn't sure which way they were going to call.
Okay,
they called it on Redding, so that's going to be his second. So now both Ware and Redding have 2 personal fouls for Exeter. With 1:36 to go, Jeff Van Gorder going to gamble a little bit right now with both of them still out on the floor. And a 10-point lead. Galantuomo to the corner for Pletz and right back to
Mifflin
it.
needs to get the ball to Kaler here because he is Redding on him with 2 fouls.
Instead, Kaler gives it up out high for Byrne. Pletz drives and then dumps it off for Byrne. Big man inside, a little bit push hook, no. Tipped out of bounds, last touch by Pletz. It's Exeter basketball. 1:11 now left to go in the half. Dauble, Redding, Ware, Reinert, and Murray on the floor for the Eagles.
That's the difference between like a high school player and high school players and college players. Mifflin's got to identify that Redding has 2 fouls. Get the ball to Matt Kaler.
Redding drives, dishes it back for Ware, drives, count the bucket, and a foul. Jaden Ware with a floater gets the bucket and a foul as well. That's going to be called on Pletz. His second against the Mustangs in the quarter. And so Jaden Ware at the free throw line to finish off a 3-point play for Exeter. Inside of a minute now left to go in half number 1. Ware now with 7 on the 3-point play and a 13-point Exeter lead. After Mifflin cut it to single digits, it's now the Eagles' largest lead at 13 with 55 seconds to go in the half. Galantuomo around a bunch of defenders, throws it, tried to save it. Yep. Flaherman stepped on the end line.
Yeah, that happened right in front of us. Flaherman was on the end line. Again, they've got to find a way to get Matt Kaler the ball, knowing that Carter Redding has 2 fouls, and he's guarding him.
Eagles with a 13-point lead and inside of 50 seconds left to go in half number 1. How will the Eagles play it here? Ware off the screen will pull up for an elbow jumper, up off the rim, no. Tipped and controlled by Pletz and Governor Mifflin. Mustangs get it back with 35 left in the half. Kick it up ahead. Kaler fakes the 3, repositions, shoots, no good. Rebounded by Dauble. Still 25 left to go in the half. Now Jeff Van Gorder says, all right, that's it. I want 1 shot to finish off this half. Can the Eagles comply with now 20 seconds to go? Carter Redding dribbles out between the circles. So the Eagles will set up for 1 here. Will it be Dauble? Will it be Murray? With 8 to go, Redding off the screen high. Screener, kick it back for Murray. Murray drives, left-hand finish, no. Reinert put back, no. And that will end half number 1. But a good first 2 quarters for the Exeter Eagles. Mustangs made a push in the second quarter, but Jaden Ware's 3-point play changed it back in the Eagles' favor, and they will head to the locker room with a 13-point advantage. Eagles 37, Mustangs 24 Our high school basketball continues after this with our halftime show here on WEEU in Reading.
Looking for a game-winning play for your next tailgate or get-together? Score big this season with trays from Chick-fil-A. Delicious chicken nuggets and chicken strips, fruits and garden salads, chocolate chunk cookies, and their delicious mac and cheese. Make a play with Chick-fil-A and you'll be a winner every time. Visit Chick-fil-A at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Chick-fil-A voted America's favorite fast food restaurant.
Life too busy to cook good food? Let Schmeck's Villa prepare your gourmet dinner. With nightly specials Tuesday through Sunday, the fun family atmosphere and delicious food will quickly become a favorite night out. Visit Schmeck's Villa in Exeter Township for a meal you can feel good about. Whether you prefer seafood, a hearty landlubber's meal, or if you're looking for something sweet to cap your night, Schmeck's Villa will hit the spot.
Hi, I'm Mike Kuhn with Kuhn Funeral Homes. Since 1937, our family has been committed to serving our community. We now have 3 active generations, as I have the honor of working with my father and son. With 5 convenient locations to serve our neighbors, Kuhn Funeral Homes continues to dedicate our family to your family. Thank you for believing in us, and we promise to always be there for you.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end. Your Erie agent is Cross Keys Insurance. Get a quote today at crosskeysins.com. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Tonight's halftime show is brought to you by Lincoln Plumbing and Heating. When you need a plumber, get a good one. Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Lincoln Plumbing has the experience to help from a leaky faucet to a whole bathroom remodel. Call 610-376-0863 for Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, as honest as their name. Alongside Rich Garcella, my name is Bob McCool. At halftime, it is the Exeter Eagles on top of the Governor Mifflin Mustangs by a score of 37-24. The Mustangs got the ball first and dropped a 3 right out of the gate from Jameer Johnson, and things looked good for the Mustangs, but Exeter reversed that quickly, ran off the next 4 points, and then pushed this game out to a double-digit lead through most of the first quarter, led by 11 after 1. And then push it out to a 12-point lead at 25-13 before the Mustangs got things going, thanks in large part to senior guard Andrew Gallen-Tuomo, who almost single-handedly got the Mustangs back into it. But as soon as Governor Mifflin was able to get it to a single-digit game again at 7 points at 31-24, the Eagles kicked it right back and scored the last 6 points of the half and lead it by double digits again at 13. And Rich, go back to that point you made. If Mifflin can keep it here and keep it into a single-digit game at halftime, keep it in the 6, 7, 8 range, knowing that they really didn't get a whole lot of Matt Kaler. There's a lot for the Mustangs to like at halftime. The Eagles kind of popped that bubble in the last minute or minute and a half of that second quarter.
Yeah, the 3 by Carter Redding after that Mifflin had cut it to 31-24 was big. That extended the lead back to 3, and then the 3-point play by Jaden Ware made it 13 points here at halftime. I think I would say they've got to feel pretty good, but down 13, they've got a big hill to climb. But you also look at this, Bob. Jameer Johnson, 3 points, left the game with 2:33 left in the first quarter with his second foul on a technical. Sorry, folks, I'm dealing with a cold. And Matt Kaler has 3 points. So they're your top 2 scorers. You have 6 points from them. They're averaging almost 28 points a game. Let's see if they could get going in the second half and make this a game, because right now, Exeter has played very, very well on defense.
For sure. And the flip side of that is we began this broadcast talking about Governor Mifflin and the change, what Garrett Etzel was doing to try to change the culture with the Mustangs, and starting it by talking about how good they've been defensively. A team that's giving up less than 46 points per game in the beginning of this season, through the first 14 games of the season. They've given up 37 at halftime. So either it's Exeter's offense or the Mustangs haven't done it as well as they'd like to on defense. I'm sure Garrett Etzel will point to the defense and saying, you know what, if we can do what we're supposed to do defensively, that's only going to help us get back in this game a little bit faster.
Yeah, you could see how they create offense with defense. You saw it a few times in the first half, but I'm sure not enough for Garrett Essel's liking. So let's see if they can do that in the second half with Johnson on the floor, because he, like I said, he missed the last 10 and a half minutes of the first half. Maybe that changes things. He's got some size. He's got some bulk. Could cause problems for the Exeter Eagles.
And then the flip side of that is Exeter. And one of the things that I thought was going to make Exeter a handful for a lot of teams is that they've got scorers in a lot of different directions. And you knew coming back they had Aiden Dauble and they had Brady Murray, who were key components of last year's team that went 19-10, made it all the way to the second round of the state playoffs. And then you add in the contributions of what Jaden Ware can do athletically. And then as this season started to unfold and Carter Redding became a player as well. And now the Eagles are looking at 4 different scorers that they can make use of. That at the high school level, and especially where things are in Berks County, you've got 3 and 4 different players who can score from anywhere on the floor. That's a tough thing to deal with. And as this Exeter team gets more and more confident in their offensive abilities, it's what's going to make them a tough team to deal with as January and February rolls around.
Yeah, I think what we're also seeing, as we mentioned in the pregame, Exeter's battle-tested. They've played a brutal non-league schedule, and it's a big reason why they're 6-7 overall. But what it's done, and as Jeff Van Gorder told us, they've been in every game. If you're playing that kind of game night after night after night, you're used to close games, and you're used to almost any situation. So I think that's a big plus. Like, why we've seen in the last 2 league games, beating Berks Catholic at Wolf Gymnasium, here leading Governor Mifflin by 13 points at the half. I think this team has played top-notch, top-flight competition, and you can see that tonight.
Yeah, he said pretty much we've played a 6A schedule. And, of course, they are a 5A team. Again, 2 years ago they were in a state final in Class 5A. That's the caliber that this program has elevated itself to over the course of the last couple of seasons. And I think that's a piece of this as well, that Exeter is now dealing with the fact that now everybody knows who they are because of the success they've had in the last couple of seasons in the postseason. Again, your season ended the last 2 years to Imhotep. So that's a pretty good season if the last game you played was Imhotep, because Imhotep is going to be somewhere near the end at the top. And, of course, 2 years ago, that's who they lost to in the state final.
Imhotep has guys playing at the top college programs in the country. Yeah. Let's just say that. But, no, you're right, Bob.
Well, the guy that was on the team 2 years ago who, when they played in the state final, is playing for the Sixers right now. Let's just go with that with Justin Edwards. Let's start with that.
That's also true. So, I mean, but what you're seeing is that these guys are confident. They play very, very good defense. And, and like you said, they have balance on offense. Any of 4 guys can score. So that's going to be a tough thing to beat. You look at last week's loss to Daniel Boone, and Jeff Van Gorder said to us, the teams in our division are all stronger. Their whole teams are back. Twin Valley, Daniel Boone, Conrad Weiser. So, they might be the best team in that division, but they're also there aren't any walkovers. There aren't any cakewalks in Division II, and that also has strengthened them and have them ready for games like this.
Yeah, and again, if this thing continues the way it has with tonight's game at 3-1 in Division II, they will already be 2-0 Division I. 2 huge wins in the crossovers from Exeter's standpoint. Again, 3 teams are going to get into the playoffs in that mix, guaranteed spots. That's the Division I winner, the Division II winner, and the second place team from either 1 or 2. So Exeter would have 2 huge aces up its sleeve if they get wins over Governor Mifflin and Berks Catholic, still with games against Muhlenberg, Wilson, and Reading left to play.
If Exeter plays like it did last Thursday against Berks Catholic and in the first half tonight here, I mean, they're going to be part of the conversation about in the Berks County playoffs. They're going to be one of the teams to beat.
Second half of tonight's game is presented in part by Cross Keys Insurance, an independent insurance agency that can help you find the right policy for auto, home, business, or life insurance needs. With offices in both Reading and Hamburg, Cross Keys Insurance will be the key to your security. 37-24 is our score. 10 points for Andrew Gallantuomo to lead the way for the Mustangs. Not a whole lot of help. Stephen Mayo with 4, Jameer Johnson, Matt Kaler with 3 each, 2 each for Javian Pletz and Cameron Flaherman. for the Exeter Eagles, 12 for Carter Redding, 9 for Brady Murray, 7 for Jaden Ware, 4 each for Braylon Reinert and Aiden Double, and 3 for Dylan Donati. The Mustangs start with the basketball. A couple looks inside. The last one by Matt Kaler is blocked out of bounds. It's going to stay Governor Mifflin basketball. Jameer Johnson, who picked up those 2 early fouls, back there to start for the Mustangs here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, that first shot by Matt Kaler was a putback, and I'm sure he wants that one back because he should have had it.
Screen and roll from Gallon Tuomo to Byrne. Missed a shot. Fights for his own rebound. Saves it, but it's taken away by Jaden Ware. Ware pushes up the floor between 2 defenders. No good. Gallon Tuomo pulls down the rebound. The Mustangs back the other way. Gallon Tuomo in the open floor. Euro step move, but one too many.
No doubt about that one. That was about Euro step times 2.
Went through a couple different countries in that Euro step move.
Yes,
so
he did.
Back-to-back turnovers for Mustangs to start the third quarter. They have now 10 in that column. Early moments of the third quarter, 37-24, Exeter on top. They've got the basketball. Dauble, Murray starts the second half. To the baseline to Reiner, trying to get around Byrne, forces his way inside, misses it, gets his own rebound, put back, also no good, and rebounded by Jameer Johnson and Governor Mifflin. Neither team has found the bottom so far here in the second half. Mayo drives inside, scoop, no, rebounded by Dauble.
Mayo tried to draw the foul, didn't get the call.
Carter Redding flips it back for Dauble. Dauble quiet half offensively, but that changes as he drains his first touch here in the third. 6 for Aiden Dauble, and it's a 15-point Exeter lead, their largest. Johnson from the corner. Thought about the 3, kicks it back for Mayo instead. He'll shoot the 3. No. Tipped around, rebounded at the foul line by Byrne. His foul line jumper also no good. Fight for the rebound. It's loose on the floor. Carter Redding dives on it, calls timeout. Exeter will get the possession.
Not a great start offensively for the Mustangs this half. 0 for 7 here in the first minute and 45 seconds of the third quarter.
And settling for some jump shots in that particular spot. Neither one of them coming up. And Carter Redding getting down and dirty and getting himself on the floor and getting the possession for the Eagles with the timeout. So it will be Exeter's basketball. It cost them a timeout with 6:15 to go in the third quarter and a 15-point Eagle lead at 39-24. Mentioned earlier, our game next coming up next is Friday night only at Wyomissing. We will have 3 of them for you next week, starting on Tuesday night. We'll be at Lloyd Wolf Gymnasium, Wilson at Berks Catholic in round number 2. The Saints won on the Bulldogs home floor. Let's see what happens in round 2. We'll have that one. That was originally scheduled for Monday night, moved to Tuesday night at Lloyd Wolf Gymnasium. Thursday night, Muhlenberg is at the Geigel for Muhlenberg and Reading. And then Friday night, we're back at Lloyd Wolf Gymnasium for a girls matchup between the Mustangs and the Saints. Aiden Dauble off the timeout for a 3, no. Rebounded by Byrne and the Mustangs. Mayo, stutter step, walked. Tried for the extra step to go around the defender and turned it over.
Yeah.
Mifflin again. 3 turnovers now for Governor Mifflin.
0 for 7 and 3 turnovers. 0 for 7 and 3 turnovers to start the half.
Inside of 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Exeter with the basketball and sitting on a 39-24 lead. Swinging around the perimeter from left side to right to Murray in front of the Eagle bench. Now out high instead to Ware. Mustangs in a straight-up man-to-man right now. Ware, hesitation, trying to get by Mayo. Fadeaway, not there. Rebounded by Byrne, stripped out of his hands by Dauble. Loose on the floor and a foul called. Mayo and Ware fighting for the basketball, and they're going to call Mayo on the foul.
Another turnover for Governor Mifflin there. Byrne came down with the defensive rebound and lost control of it.
So Mayo picks up his 3rd. First foul against either side here in half number 2. Backdoor off the inbounds for Dauble. Blocked by Byrne. Tipped up and home. Braylon Reinert will get the 2.
Reinert's been all over the offensive glass this game. Gets the follow on Dauble's miss.
17-point advantage for the Eagles. Gallon Tuomo to the corner for Mayo. To the baseline for Kaler for 2.
And Mifflin's running out of time here. They've got to make some kind of move here in the next 4 or 5 minutes.
First points of the second half for the Mustangs from Matt Kaler, 2. Here's Reinert inside, no. Rebounded by Gallon Tuomo, and he wants to go. Up ahead for Mayo. One more pass for Johnson. Missed the layup. Tipped out to Kaler. The Mustangs get another look. Baseline for Mayo. Up and under. Count the bucket and a foul. The Mustangs missed a gimme on a great feed from Mayo to Johnson, but they got the offensive board, and Mayo makes it work.
Yeah, great look by Galantuomo on that to Mayo for the basket and possible three-point play.
Foul is on Braylon Reinert. That's his second. And Mayo back at the free throw line for the second time tonight. He's got 6 points on the evening and make it 7. And the Mustangs have scored 5 in a row. They make it a 12-point game again at 41-29. 5:20 left to go in the third. Murray tries to drive, pulls up baseline for 2 and pure. Grady Murray showing he's not just a three-point shooter with about a 10-foot jumper from the baseline. He's in double figures with 11. 10th time this season that Murray has hit double figures. Mustangs back the other way. Galantuomo drives into the land of the Giants, has it partially blocked, gets it back, and dumps it off for Johnson, who finds it home for 2.
Andrew Galantuomo finds a way to make plays.
Got his own rebound and then dumped it off for Jameer Johnson's lay-in. Makes it 43-31. Ware to Dauble, baseline, up and home for 2 strong.
Strong baseline move by Dauble. Tried to draw the foul, didn't get the call. Johnson backed off.
8 for Dauble. Lead is 14 again for Exeter, 45-31. Baseline 3 for Kaler, no. Rebounded Jameer Johnson on the weak side. Go back up and under, but he stepped on the baseline, dribbling it from one side of the basket to the other. So the Mustangs will turn it back.
13 turnovers for the Mustangs so far here, halfway through the third quarter.
Redding brings it up the floor, dumps it for Murray. Murray off the screen for 3, good. Brady Murray picking up the pace.
Mifflin just cannot get under 10, can't get this under 10 points, cannot make a run.
Galantuomo back the other way, a little hesitation in the air, and Murray bumped into him. Galantuomo will shoot 2. The high basketball IQ of Andrew Galantuomo gets himself up in the air. It doesn't necessarily have a clean look, but he knows with that little hesitation, he's going to draw the foul, and he does on Murray. So Galantuomo will shoot 2. Scored 4 of his first half points at the free throw line. Looking for his first points of the second half. And that's good too. 5 out of 6 at the free throw line for the senior. And now coming into the game as Murray and Reinert will take a breather. Dylan Donati checks back in, and also into the game is Giuliani Orbe Ochoa. As Andrew Galantuomo is at the free throw line for a second shot for the Mustangs and makes them both. 12 for Galantuomo, 48-33 is our score. Halfway through quarter number 3. Off the screen, Donati looks to the corner for Dauble. Dauble trying to get some separation from Johnson, can't find it. Gives it out for Ware instead. Ware can't get by Johnson either. Good defense by the Mustangs. Now back up high for Donati. Orbe Ochoa comes out to set the screen. They give it for Dauble. Dauble to the baseline. Orbe Ochoa, turnaround not there. Tipped and controlled by the Mustangs. Good defense on that possession by Governor Mifflin. And now can they cash in on the offensive end? Kaler fakes the 3, tries to go baseline, cut off. Kicks it back, and they'll reset from right side to left to Johnson. Johnson drives, tucks, and a whistle beforehand. They're going to call a foul before the drive of the shot. So it's on the floor. And I believe this one's going to be on Carter Redding. If so, that's his third. Inbounds for Kaler. They slip behind. Nobody saw Matt Kaler for 2.
Matt Kaler was there the whole time, and nobody picked him up.
So Kaler with 4 1/4, 7 in the game. It's a 48-35 score right now in favor of the Eagles with 2:45 left to play in the third. Donati looking to go in low post. Galantuomo stole it away. Up the other end, Galantuomo pass too hot to handle through the hands of Kaler. Turnover Mustangs. Josh playing a little bit too fast on that particular possession. And Murray and Reinert now will check back in for the Eagles with 2:36 left to go in the third. 48-35 our score. Exeter on top. Redding trying to drive past Gallon Tuomo. Backdoor look for Murray, a bump and a foul. Cameron Flairman just checked back into the game for Governor Mifflin. I believe they're going to whistle him for the foul. Nope, it's actually on Kaler. So that'll be his second. Mustangs second as well. Not a shooting foul. Exeter inbounds underneath. Double back to this inbounder in Redding, who tries to drive baseline. Stripped away by Gallon Tuomo. It's loose on the floor. Redding just threw it at the rim, knocked away, and eventually Gallon Tuomo comes back with it. Gallon Tuomo up to the other end. And somebody scores.
Johnson scored.
Thank you. Jameer Johnson scores on the other end. And a timeout called by the Eagles with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Exeter 48, Governor Mifflin 37. We'll take a timeout back to Rifton after this.
Life too busy to cook good food? Let Schmeck's Villa prepare your gourmet dinner. With nightly specials Tuesday through Sunday, the fun family atmosphere and delicious food will quickly become a favorite night out. Visit Schmeck's Villa in Exeter Township for a meal you can feel good about. Whether you prefer seafood, a hearty landlubber's meal, or if you're looking for something sweet to cap your night, Schmeck's Villa will hit the spot.
2 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Exeter 48, Governor Mifflin 37, and the Eagles call the timeout. So 2 timeouts left for Exeter, and I believe still 4 timeouts for Governor Mifflin.
Mifflin was down 41-24 early in the third quarter. Got it down to 11. Let's see if they could cut it under 10 before the fourth quarter.
Exeter with the basketball. It'll be Redding, Murray, Dauble, Ware, and Reinert. If you will, Jeff Van Gorder starting 5. Ware off the screen, elbow jumper, no. Mustangs have it back. Gallon Tuomo up ahead for Mayo. Right back to Gallon Tuomo along with Johnson, Kaler, and Flairman, the 5 on the floor for the Mustangs. Swinging around, baseline inside for Johnson, off the rim, no good, but he's fouled.
Nice look by Stephen Mayo inside the Johnson. Just couldn't get it to fall.
So Jameer Johnson will shoot 2 now for the Mustangs. Foul is on Braylon Reinert. That's his 3rd. Eagles 4th in the quarter. And Johnson at the free throw line. Where the Mustangs have been excellent so far tonight until I say that. They were 8 for 9. Now making 8 for 10 at the stripe as Johnson misses the first of 2. 60% free throw shooter on the season. And the second is good. 5 1/4 for Jameer Johnson. 8 in the ballgame. And the Mustangs are within 10 again at 48-38.
Playing a little bit of a half-court trap here.
This has been the kind of the breakwater point for the Mustangs. Murray, left side for 2. No. Rebounded by Gallon Tuomo. Quickly up ahead for Johnson. Johnson will drive to the bucket. No good, but a foul and a block. It's going to put Johnson on the line. The foul is going to be on Redding, and that's his 4th.
And that's the right call, too. No doubt about that one. Johnson had the clear path to the basket. Redding tried to draw the offensive foul, but was late.
So number 4 on Carter Redding. Jeff Van Gorder is going to get him out of the game. With Dylan Donati at the scorer's table and Johnson at the free throw line where he misses the first of 2. So Redding out with 1:23 still left to go in the third, committing 4 fouls. And the second is good. Good news for Governor Mifflin. They got it to single digits. Bad news for Governor Mifflin. They got it to single digits. This is where it seems to go wrong for the Mustangs, or the Eagles respond, whichever way you look at it.
Let's see these final 75 seconds of the quarter, what can happen here.
And again, without Carter Redding on the floor as well because of the foul trouble. So the Eagles have the basketball after it's kicked out of bounds by the Mustangs. 1:11 left to go in the third. Donati looks for the back door to Ware. It's closed. Kicks it back for Reinert and then gets it back. Gallon Tuomo fights through the screen, so he gives it up for Dauble. Jameer Johnson guarding a pull-up jumper. Tough shot. Long rebound. Johnson has it. Up ahead for Mayo. Mustangs in transition. Kick out. Kaler for 3. Short. Fight for the long rebound. Has it back. Kaler drives. Misses on the drive as well, and Dauble has the rebound. So 2 looks for Matt Kaler. They both come up empty.
Yeah, he had an open 3, stepped into it too, just didn't fall.
40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Exeter has it back, still up by 9. Trying to get Jaden Ware open, can't shake loose of the defense of Stephen Mayo. Gives it for Dauble and now to Reiner. And back to Donati. Donati drives, tripped, count the bucket, and he's fouled. Dylan Donati knew he got the whistle. He put it on the rim and got the bucket too.
Yeah, that was just the let me throw it at the basket, see if it goes in, because I know I got fouled, and it went in.
And so he's got a chance to make this a 3-point play. The foul on Galen Tuomo is his second. So Dylan Donati with the field goal, his second, and a chance to make this a 3-point play. And does. 6 for Donati, and it's back to a double-digit lead again for the Eagles at 51-39. To the corner for Johnson, 15 on the third quarter clock. Mayo to the baseline. Kaler doesn't look for a shot. Gives it up instead for Flaherman. Kicks it back. Kaler doesn't take the shot. Drives instead. 4 seconds. Galen Tuomo off balance. Leaner, no. And rebounded by Exeter, and the quarter comes to an end. After 3, the lead again in double digits for Exeter. The Eagles 51, the Mustangs 39, the final 8 minutes when we come back to Rifton after this on WEEU in Reading.
They say dogs are man's best friend, so they deserve the very best. Houndstown in Reading is a full-service dog daycare and boarding facility with spacious rooms, quality grooming, and plenty of room for fun. While you're away, the dogs will play. Houndstown has all the enrichment your pet needs for their physical and social health. They offer a variety of spa services like baths, nail trimming, toothbrushing, and dematting. Give Fido the finest at Houndstown, 610-947-1441, or visit houndstownreading.com.
Got a special event? Let Renner's Markets cover the catering with their delicious selection of party platters and prepared foods. Host the best brunch with their sunrise brioche sliders, wraps, and fruit trays. Treat your guests to Renner's assortment of pastries and cakes, or take your party to the next level with fried or rotisserie chicken, shrimp cocktail trays, traditional or boneless wings, and even more easy-to-heat meals made by our executive chefs. Put down the apron and pick up the party with Renner's Catering. Check out the menu at the market or order online at rennersmarkets.com.
Welcome back to Rifton, again alongside Rich Garcella. My name is Bob McCool, and the story of this game has been the resilience of Exeter. Governor Mifflin keeps trying to make runs at the Eagles, but every time they do, the Exeter Eagles push it right back up to double digits, just like they did at the end of the third, and they start the fourth quarter with the basketball at a 12-point lead at 51-39.
Yeah, Mifflin was 5 for 18 in that third quarter. They had some open looks. They just couldn't get shots to fall. Exeter 6 for 17 in the third quarter. Same thing. Shots that were falling in the first half for the Eagles weren't in this third quarter.
Carter Redding starts the fourth quarter on the bench again with 4 fouls. As Donati goes baseline, up and under, not there. Aiden Dauble with an offensive rebound, stripped and fouled. Aiden Dauble with the offensive board work for the Eagles is going to end up at the free throw line as a result. And it's going to be Jameer Johnson on the foul for the Mustangs. That'll be his third. Dauble at the free throw line for the first time tonight, 68% free throw shooter in the season. With 2 here, Dauble would be in double digits for the 10th time on the year as he makes the first. He had a career high of 36 in a loss to Steelton earlier this season. And makes them both. So 10 for Dauble, and the lead is 14, 53-39.
Yeah, Mifflin had it down to 9. Exeter answered with 5 straight.
Eagles out in that, looking at zone. Mayo drives, kick, corner 3. Kaler, no. Tipped around and a foul called. Orbe Ochoa and Flaherman battling for the rebound, and I think they're going to get Exeter on the foul. They will. Orbe Ochoa with his 3rd personal, and Exeter will keep possession, and Matt Kaler just struggling to find his range. He will be the inbounder for Mayo, Galen Tuomo, Johnson, and now we're getting a foul on an illegal screen set by Flaherman. So to go right back to Exeter on the illegal screen by Cameron Flaherman.
Mifflin's really beating itself tonight with the turnovers, the untimely fouls.
Good ball movement to Murray in the corner. Steps away for a three. No. Rebounded by Kaler. Maybe not the best shot that Murray could have taken with a 14-point lead. Great find inside to Johnson from Kaler for two.
Yeah, very nice look by Matt Kaler. Johnson was open underneath. Makes the layup.
He's got 11. The lead is 12 for Exeter, 53-41.
See if the Stangs have one last run in them here with 6:30 to left.
They extend the defense as far out as the man-to-man can go. Donati is left alone, goes baseline, missed it. Ball is tipped around, last touch by Gallon Tuomo. It'll stay Exeter basketball. 6:30 left to go in the ballgame.
Exeter has done a much better job than Governor Mifflin on the glass, getting a lot of second chances.
Donati, the inbounder for Murray, along with Daubel, Orbe Ochoa, and Ware, the five on the floor for the Eagles. Daubel pounded by Jameer Johnson in this second half defensively. Donati off the screen, drives, dumps it back, but Gallon Tuomo dropped back and stole it away. Gallon Tuomo up ahead for Mayo in transition, stripped by Daubel, ended up in Johnson's hands, and he's fouled. Orbe Ochoa is going to get called for another. That's going to be his fourth.
He's only played about 4 minutes, it seems, anyway.
And it will put Johnson back at the free throw line. Jameer Johnson 2 for 4 at the stripe in the third quarter. Will shoot 2 more here. With that, Braylon Reiner will come in now on the second free throw attempt by Johnson. He'll have to wait for the first shot, which is good. So hit Reinert in, Orbe Ochoa out. 6:07 still left to play in this one. Now Carter Redding with those 4 fouls is going to come back in as well. And Donati will come out. So Jeff Van Gorder gambled a little bit at the end of the second quarter with Ware and Redding on the floor with 2 fouls. He'll gamble a little bit more now with Redding having 4, and Johnson makes them both. 13 for Johnson. Now the Mustangs extend that to a 3-quarter look, as they've got it to a 10-point game again at 53-43, 6 minutes to go. Skip pass up ahead for Murray. Gallon Tuomo guards him. Murray thought about backing him down, goes outside instead, and now they'll swing it around from right side to left. Jaden Ware, quiet offensively here in the second half, and a foul called as Flairman grabs a hold. That'll be his second, team's third. Mustangs with another crossover game on Friday night. They will be at home against Twin Valley. There's a great look. Daubel inside. Reiner can't get it to go down. Ball's tipped around and out of bounds. Last touch by the Eagles. Great find by Aiden Daubel, but Reiner could not finish it. Mustangs get it back.
Yeah, Reiner would like to have that one back. Hit an open layup, missed it.
Mustangs chance to get it to single digits again. Gallon Tuomo gets himself tangled up in defense and turns it right back.
Turnover number 16 for the Mustangs. Again, self-inflicted wounds tonight, hurting themselves. Turnovers, missed easy open looks, missed open looks.
5:27 left to go in this one, and the Mustangs will call a timeout. We'll take one as well. We come back to Rifton. It's still Exeter on top, 53-43 when we return after this.
Sure Stay Plus by Best Western offers a welcoming, comfortable stay for the business or leisure traveler, providing clean and cozy rooms at a reasonable price. Conveniently located at the intersection of Route 12 and North 5th Street in Reading, Sure Stay Plus provides a fresh, hot breakfast buffet, all-day coffee, free fast Wi-Fi, HD TV, fridge and microwave, and much more. Plus, business travelers have access to services such as copying and a meeting space. Call 610-371-0500 to book your stay or visit bestwestern.com.
Ahoy! Adelphia Seafood is your neighborhood market for the freshest seafood around, with locations in West Lawn, Fairgrounds Market, and Pottsville. They offer a range of delicious options from crab cakes, clams, fresh organic salmon, and succulent shrimp, as well as convenient take-home dinners and more. For more information or to place an order, visit adelphiaseafood.com or just call one of their stores. Enjoy top-quality seafood and exceptional service right in your community at Adelphia Seafood.
Stick around tonight after our postgame show, the debut for the basketball season of our scoreboard show. Jeff Nolan, Matt Nah back at the WEEU studios, run down all the scores, get some conversation going about the sport of high school basketball here at WEU. The debut of our high school basketball edition of our scoreboard show. You'll hear it after all of our game coverage on WEU for the remainder of the month of January. Exeter with a basketball and a 10-point lead, 53-43, 5:19 to go in the ballgame. Aiden Dauble, Jaden Ware, Brady Murray, Carter Redding, Braylon Reinert, the 5 on the floor for the Eagles. Reinert gets it back to Redding against the man-to-man defense of Governor Mifflin. Murray trying to drive, stripped out of bounds by Kaler.
I didn't see a signal. I thought there was some confusion on who it was off.
Mustangs have definitely picked up the defensive intensity in this second half. Much as we talked about in the first half, a team that was giving up 45-plus points per game on the season. They're giving up 37 in the first half. 16 so far here in the second. Ware, hounded by Mayo and bumped and fouled. Mayo went for the steal. He got called for the bump, and that's going to be his fourth. It's also the fourth on Governor Mifflin. So the next foul by the Mustangs will put Exeter at the free throw line for the rest of the night. And the Eagles are a 65% free throw shooting team. Dauble out high for Murray. And around the left wing for Ware. Baseline, bounce pass inside for Reinert. Up with a hook shot, no. Fight for the rebound, out of bounds. Last touch by Aiden Dauble and Exeter.
Yeah, there were two Exeter Eagles around the ball, Dauble and Ware. And they were both looking for it, and it was off one of them.
Mustangs again. Stop me if you've heard this before. Chance to get this into single digits. 53-43. Governor Mifflin with the basketball. Corner for Kaler. Back to the wing for Mayo. Too hot to handle on the dump down. Turnover Mustangs.
Turnover number 17 for the Stangs. Again, beating themselves.
4:10 left to go. So we're halfway through the fourth. And the Mustangs extend that defense out to half court. Trying for the trap on Redding. Gives it up for Ware. And around for Murray. Catch and shoot three. Got it. Brady Murray. 17 now on the night.
Big basket for Murray.
Third three of the night for Murray. Callan Twomel to match that. Comes up no good. Tipped around. Dauble grabs the rebound and then gets fouled by Kaler. We will shoot on the other end. Fifth foul against the Mustangs will put Aiden Dauble at the free throw line in the bonus to shoot two, and another timeout called by Governor Mifflin. Still 3:45 left to go in this one, and the Mustangs will take a 30-second timeout. Now again down by 13 after the three from Brady Murray.
Yeah, every time Mifflin tries to make a run, the Eagles answer, and this time it was Brady Murray with a three, his third of the night.
Actually, I shortchanged him. It's his fourth. He's had one in every quarter so far in this ballgame. And 36 now on the night.
Murray? Oh, I have him for three.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Maybe I missed one. I have to check that out.
3:45 left to go.
The point is, that was a big basket.
Yeah, it was.
Because Mifflin just can't get over the hump. They can't make the Eagles sweat, trying to get it down to 5 or 6. They just haven't been able to do that after falling behind early.
So Aiden Dauble's back at the free throw line now for the Exeter Eagles. After the foul on Kaler, his third. And Dauble makes the first. 3 straight now at the line for Dauble. And the second good as well. 12 for Dauble. And the lead is 58-43 Exeter. Swinging around, Johnson, catch and shoot, corner three, no. Weak side rebound by Kaler. Kaler trying to get Dauble off his feet, can't do it, so he forces it up, no good, and rebounded by Reiner. Aiden Dauble would not leave his feet. Matt Kaler couldn't make the shot. Murray, other side for three, he can make it.
Brady Murray hadn't practiced since Saturday. Looks like he didn't miss practice.
I was going to say, think you want to try to tell coach that? No. Mustangs kicking around. Mark Kaler for three, still can't find it. tipped around. It's loose on the floor. Johnson gets it for the Mustangs. Back up, missed it. Tipped around again. Johnson fighting for it again. And eventually we're going to go to the possession arrow, and it will be Governor Mifflin basketball. It's an 18-point lead now in favor of the Eagles. With 3:01 left to go, it'll be Governor Mifflin basketball. Inbounds for Johnson. Up, no good, but he's bumped and fouled. So Jameer Johnson back to the free throw line again. 4th time in this second half. And it's going to be on Dauble, his second. Donati go check back in. Reinert out. So Jeff Van Gorder essentially put 5 guards on the floor now, including Aiden Dauble, who can handle the ball. With Johnson shooting a second, and that one's good. So 1 out of 2 again at the free throw line for Jameer Johnson. With the Mustangs not quite yet, that actually picking up full court after the made free throw. 61-44, 2:50 to go. Dauble drives, switches hands, no good. Johnson has the rebound. Mustangs back the other way to Mayo. Back to Johnson inside for 2.
Jameer Johnson, you could see how much Mifflin missed him most of that first half. He's got 12 here in the second half.
It's a 15-point game in favor of the Eagles with 2:30 to go. Murray, Dauble, Carter Redding is open in a corner. Doesn't want to look for the shot. Great backdoor look for Dauble and 2. Beautiful cut from the high post for Aiden Dauble. Carter Redding delivered the goods. Mustangs working inside, then back outside. Mayo, off balance shot with left hand, no. Johnson with another offensive rebound and a putback for Jameer Johnson. He's got all of the Mustangs' points here in the 4th quarter. 63-48 and a bump and a foul will put Dauble back at the line for the Eagles. Johnson commits the foul. That's going to be his 4th. So Aiden Dauble again shooting 2 more. The Eagles are 12 for 14 at the free throw line on the night, with Dauble about to shoot 2 more. And he's 4 for 4. Makes the first. Brandon Reinert will check back in now for Exeter. Donati will come out. Offensive and defensive substitutions, perhaps. Dauble makes them both. 65-48. 16 now for Aiden Dauble. 1:50 to go. Again, they find Johnson, who again goes inside and again gets fouled.
I'm not sure why Exeter is fouling with a 17-point lead and 1:48 to go, but Johnson will be going to the line again.
That one's going to believe is going to be on Reinert. It is. That'll be his 4th. And Johnson back to the free throw line. Again, he has scored all of the Mustangs' points here in this 4th quarter, and he's at the line again. And he misses the first. Donati back in, Reinert back out. And again, 1 out of 2 for Johnson at the free throw line. 65-49 our score. Murray flips it from one side to the other to Redding, and that back to the middle to Ware, who sees an opening, takes it down, missed it. Ball tipped around, ended up in Donati's hands. His putback, no. Aiden Dauble fighting for the offensive rebound. His putback is good, and he's fouled. Aiden Dauble, workhorse inside, gets 2 more.
He's also having a big 4th quarter for Exeter. Garrett Edsel throwing up the white flag, Bob.
Going to clear his bench now with 1:29 left to play in the ballgame. As Aiden Dauble's back at the free throw line to shoot. Alex Lopez will check into the game for the Mustangs. Davian Pletz and Mark Lachina, who saw some minutes in the first half, also back in the game. Savion Mayo, along with Evan Byrne, the 5 on the floor now for the Mustangs. With Aiden Dauble at the free throw line to finish off the 3-point play, he misses it. And the Mustangs get it back, but the Exeter Eagles are about to go to 4-1 now in Division 2 of the Berks League. And 2-0 against Division 1 with a game on Friday here at Exeter against Muhlenberg. Foul called on the Eagles. We'll put Pletz at the free throw line for Governor Mifflin. See how the Mustangs respond to this game. As Rich said, they have been very good and been on the winning side, obviously, with an 11-3 record with a 15-point plus difference in points scored on the season. They will take on Twin Valley on Friday, then Monday against Muhlenberg.
Yeah, going into tonight, Mifflin's 3 losses were by a total of 14 points. They're down 17 here with a minute 23 left.
That being after Javian Pletz, who's at the free throw line, makes one and then makes the other. Pletz with 4. It's a 67-51 game with 1:20 to go. And Exeter has also cleared its bench here for the final minute 15. And the ball kicked out of bounds. It'll stay Exeter basketball. Patrick Payne into the game for the Eagles. Bryce Cuesta also into the game for the Eagles, as was Michael Fisher. Mason Goodhart and Jaden Madrikowski all into the game for Exeter. Again, the ball kicked out of bounds. It'll stay Eagle basketball.
Bob, I think after what we've seen over the last 5 days, I think you can include Exeter with the Wilsons, the Berks Catholics, the Muhlenbergs. Who am I missing? I'm trying to think.
Well, the question is where the Reading High Red Knights fit in all this, because it's been a rough start so far for the Red Knights. But again, we've got another round of games to play in the Berks Conference. You play the teams in your division twice, and we'll start that second round in the next couple of days.
I think Exeter will be one of the teams in the mix when the Berks Conference playoffs begin, for sure.
Here's a catch-and-shoot 3 that's well short by Bryce Cuesta and tipped out of bounds last touch by the Eagles.
Just saw Muhlenberg assistant coach Rick Perez leave the gym, was here scouting, I'm sure.
Yeah, as I said, they'll be here on Thursday night. Muhlenberg, that is, will be here on Thursday night to take on Exeter. Here's a corner 3 for Evan Byrne that's no good. Rebounded by Lachina, back up and no good. Tipped around. It was controlled ultimately by Evan Byrne. Inside of 30 seconds left to go in this one.
The interesting thing will be to see if the Mustangs, who are humble tonight, let's see how they respond. They haven't faced a game like this all year.
Michael Fisher drives off a steal. Mason Goodhart is there to finish it for the Eagles. Now going to whistle and a stop with 10 seconds left to play and a foul called. 69-51 is our score, and a foul called on Fisher. We'll put Savion Mayo at the free throw line for the Mustangs.
Well, the one team I left out was Governor Mifflin. So you have Wilson, Berks Catholic, Governor Mifflin, Muhlenberg, Exeter. Reading right now is on the outside looking in. If they get in, they're capable of making a run.
Mayo makes 1 out of 2. Exeter will let the final seconds tick down, and the Exeter Eagles will take the victory on their home floor. The final score, Exeter 69, Governor Mifflin 52. We'll take a timeout, back with our Pizza Como postgame show right after this on high school basketball coverage presented by Savage Auto Group on WEEU in Reading.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all. From residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis. No matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555. This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's potato chips. Legend has it, Mark Diefenbach loved kettle-cooked chips so much, he turned his kitchen in Berks County into the ultimate snack factory. Now, 60 years later, we're still crafting our chips with the same passion and the finest ingredients, right where it all began. Diefenbach's potato chips, available in all your favorite flavors when you need that PA crafted crunch.
Judd Firestone Plumbing is your trusted local expert for all your plumbing needs. With over 125 years of combined experience, our team has seen it all, ensuring top quality service and expert solutions every time. From leaky faucets to the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams, we handle it all with professionalism and care. Call today at 610-678-9080. Judd Firestone Plumbing, where experience and reliability come together for your peace of mind.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
Welcome to the Pizza Como postgame show. Pizza Como is a family-owned business going strong on the Fifth Street Highway for over 50 years, serving the finest Italian dishes, Berks County's best variety of Italian sandwiches, and legendary pizza. Right next door is The Yard, a virtual golf experience to keep your family sharp all year round. And if you love sports cards and memorabilia, stop in to buy, sell, or trade Pizza Como and The Yard, 4600 Fifth Street Highway in Temple. The Exeter Eagles fell behind early on a three-pointer by Jameer Johnson. They quickly quickly took the lead back at 4-3 and then never looked back. They were able to push it to a double-digit lead after one at 20-9, made it a 13-point game in the second at halftime at 37-24. Governor Mifflin made a couple of pushes in the second half and got it to single digits, but each and every time they did that, Exeter was able to push it right back again. The Eagles led it by 12 again to start the third quarter at 51-39. Again, back comes Governor Mifflin. The Mustangs able to get it back to 10 again at 53-43, but Exeter able to recalibrate and get it back again into a double-digit advantage. And in the end, it is the Exeter Eagles with the victory tonight by a final score of 69-52. Again, welcome to our Pizza Como postgame show. We are going to head down on the floor. Rich Garcella catching up with our player of the game, Brady Murray. Rich, take it away.
Brady, let's first talk about the team's defensive effort tonight. Governor Mifflin been averaging over 60 points a game. How would you describe the defensive effort?
Coach talks about a sense of urgency, and we just started the game like that. We had a high intensity. We know that Mifflin can score. Galantuomo and Kohler can both shoot the three very well, so we had to get eyes on them and run them off the three-point line, and then it just forced them into taking bad shots.
How important was rebounding tonight? Because it seemed like you guys really owned the glass.
Oh, yeah, it's big. Braylon and Dobble are like one of the best rebounders in the county. They do a great job. They have height with Ja and the Brian kid who's really good at rebounding. So, they toughed them down low, and, they won the rebounding battle.
So you played against York, and then you hadn't practiced since then because you have an illness?
Yeah. I had a fever all yesterday, off and on fever, body aches. So today I was good enough to give it a go. So,
did you think you'd be able to play as late as yesterday?
Honestly, no. I want to be honest. I wasn't really feeling too good. It was pretty bad. So
it didn't look like it the way you shot the ball tonight. Did it feel right?
Oh yeah, it felt amazing. As soon as I see my first one go in, I know I'm on. So,
how would you describe your team season to this point? You guys are 7-7. You've played a really, really tough schedule. How would you describe it to this point?
I think we're battle tested. We lost a tough one last Saturday to a game winner. It was a tough game. The kid hit an insane shot. We've lost the games that we should have won. So we're battle tested, and I think we're gonna shock the county. And this was a statement win. So
you guys are 2-0 against Division I teams. Is that by coincidence?
No, it's not. We made a statement tonight. So we got to make another statement Thursday against Muhlenberg. So,
Brady, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time. I'm going to send it back to you while we wait for Coach Van Corder. Brady, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
And with Brady Murray's performance tonight, he finishes with 20, including 5 threes on the night. He is our player of the game, brought to you by the Reading Fight Phils and their all-new Redner's Event Center at First Energy Stadium. The Art Phils remind you to have your next sports team banquet in the Art Phils all-new Redner's Event Center banquet and meeting facility at First Energy Stadium. Whether it's a sports banquet, a wedding, a corporate meeting or event, or any charity fundraiser, the #1 place for events in Berks County for groups of 40 to 1,000 is the all-new Redner's Event Center at the Arphills. Go to arphills.com/events for more information. The Exeter Eagles with a victory tonight over the Governor Mifflin Mustangs. The Eagles go to now 4-1 in Division II. They get that record back up to 500. Exeter's coach Jeff Van Gorder now joining Rich Garcella down on the floor. Gentlemen, take it away.
Bob, thanks. I'm here with Exeter coach Jeff Van Gorder. Jeff, you said one of your keys tonight was to run them off the three-point line. How do you think your defense did in that category?
Knowing the numbers at the end of the game, I think we did an awesome job. That was the first time all year where I saw guys not just watch shooters shoot, they chased them off the line. So I'm really happy for them. I'm really proud of them. They fouled the scout. Obviously I don't think Matt shot it probably the best that he has all year. That obviously you got to get lucky to win some games, but I do think we did a good job frustrating them and getting them off the line.
I mean, they had lost 3 games all year by a total of 14 points. Yeah. You beat them by 17 points here tonight. Yeah. What does it say about your guys?
Yeah, they're tough. I have some football guys, I have some basketball guys, but at the end of the day, they're tough. They're great kids. You wouldn't know in the locker room what our record was, and that's what I want. We've talked about Berks County being something we take pride in and coming out and competing in. The last 3 or 4 games, win or lose, our defense has really picked it up. We've been way more physical. Braylon Reiner, I can't speak enough about him. He's only going to keep getting better. But we need him, and we didn't have him playing like this the first 5-6 games of the year. With him, it's an added dimension for our defense.
Have you rebounded the ball as well as you did tonight? Because you dominated the glass.
I don't know what the numbers are, but the last 3 or 4 games, we had 15 or more shots against York, who we played Saturday and ended up losing. We had 15 more rebounds against Blue Mountain. We ended up losing. So we have been getting better at it. Inserting Braylon is the reason. I'll just say it. It's the reason. Because Aiden Dahlville was doing so much. He was grabbing 9-10 rebounds and averaging 18 a game. We needed somebody else to give us a presence. And they're cousins, so maybe they had a little discussion. But Braylon brings another dimension for us, and I can't speak more highly of how he's been playing.
And getting the kind of game with 19 points for Brady Murray, that's what we had him. Anyway, to get not knowing if he was even going to play today because of his illness.
Yeah, he was sick. Last year he went through some sickness things and things were up and down. But he stepped into 2 in the fourth quarter. That reminded me of last year, Brady Murray. He hasn't been as efficient this year, but he let it fly. And again, we were up 10, couldn't score. All of a sudden he steps up and it made a big difference for us.
How has your non-league schedule gotten you ready for games like tonight?
Yeah, this has been every game. It's been close every game. We challenged ourselves. Penncrest early on, they're still undefeated in the Central League. Cedar Crest was, undefeated for a while up until past Christmas. Penn Manor was 8-1. The only loss they had was to us. Springford. I could go on and on. York, who just got a transfer. They're going to lose probably one more game the rest of the way. So this was just another game for our kids in a good way, and I think it's starting to pay dividends.
Jeff, thanks a lot. We're going to see you down the road. Back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. As Jeff Van Gorder gets the win, his 26th since taking over this program, and another big win and another big crossover win for the Exeter Eagles. Again, they now go to 4-1 in Division II and are 2-0 in those crossover games against Division I. We're going to take another timeout. We'll be back with our American Diner play of the game and a wrap up of the nice basketball game here from Rifton after this.
Elite Fuel Services has been one of Berks County's best-kept secrets for more than 20 years. They're a full-service heating and cooling company. Not only do they deliver heating oil, propane, diesel fuel, and gasoline, Elite also has a full HVAC team that is ready to tackle any of your heating or cooling needs. Just a quick Google search away, Elite Fuel Service. Read the reviews and give them a call. You'll feel part of the Elite Fuel family, giving you the peace of mind you deserve.
Are your garage doors noisy, squeaky, or moving unevenly? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening and closing them? Don't be left sitting in the driveway. It's time for a tune-up from Overhead Doors. Starting at just $99, we'll inspect, lube, and adjust your garage doors so they operate smoothly. Call today and ask for a tune-up special from Overhead Door, your hometown garage door company since 1965. Overhead Door, we're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
Looking for a game-winning play for your next tailgate or get-together? Score big this season with trays from Chick-fil-A. Delicious chicken nuggets and chicken strips, fruits and garden salads, chocolate chunk cookies, and their delicious mac and cheese. Make a play with Chick-fil-A and you'll be a winner every time. Visit Chick-fil-A at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Chick-fil-A voted America's favorite fast food restaurant.
Life too busy to cook good food? Let Schmeck's Villa prepare your gourmet dinner. With nightly specials Tuesday through Sunday, the fun family atmosphere and delicious food will quickly become a favorite night out. Visit Schmeck's Villa in Exeter Township for a meal you can feel good about. Whether you prefer seafood, a hearty landlubber's meal, or if you're looking for something sweet to cap your night, Schmeck's Villa will hit the spot.
Welcome back to our Pizza Como postgame show. It's now time for our play of the game, and it's brought to you by the American Diner in West Reading. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a late-night snack, you'll find a variety of menu items and homemade desserts. American Diner serves breakfast all day, and dinner entrees include dinner rolls and butter, soup and salad bar, and a choice of potato or vegetable. There's a full senior citizen menu that includes a free dessert, and military veterans receive a 10% discount. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and serving the community for generations since 1994. You're listening to high school basketball on 830 WEEU in Reading. And our American Diner play of the game, we're going to go back to the end of the second quarter because it was a synopsis of how this game unfolded for the Governor Mifflin Mustangs. Exeter pushed it out to a double-digit lead. And as we talked about time and time again, every time the Mustangs did that, the Exeter Eagles came back and pushed it right back up to a double-digit lead and personified in the end of the second quarter when Governor Mifflin had squeezed it back to a 7-point difference at 31-24. But Exeter finished with a three, first from Carter Redding from beyond the arc, and then a drive and a bucket and a foul from Jaden Ware, and bang, a three-point play, new way and old way. A three from beyond the arc for Carter Redding, and then the three from Jaden Ware with the foul in the bucket and a 6-point finish to the end of the second quarter for the Exeter Eagles. And what did they do? They end up taking a 13-point lead into the locker room at halftime. And that is how this game unfolded. Every time Governor Mifflin tried to make any kind of a push, they got it to 10, they got it to 9, they got it to 8. And before the Mustangs could settle back in, Exeter had pushed it back up to a 12, 13, 14-point lead.
Mifflin fell behind early, including Jameer Johnson getting his second foul, a technical foul. With 2:33 left in the first quarter, Mifflin was down 9, and they could never get closer than that. They just, maybe one time they were 7, was it down to 7?
Yep.
But really, they were down 20-9 at the end of the first quarter, just could not get back in the game. Exeter had a lot to do with that. Mifflin committed, I think, 18 turnovers, didn't shoot the ball well, missed a lot of open shots, and it was just one of those nights. Their shooters had an off night, and this is going to open some eyes because Mifflin had only 3 losses by a total of 14 points. They had beaten Berks Catholic, Muhlenberg, and Reading. And for Exeter to do this, Exeter was 6-7, although playing a tough non-conference schedule. Exeter now has shown in the last 5 days with the win at Berks Catholic and here tonight, they belong in the conversation on the top contenders in Berks County.
That is for sure. The Mustangs will now will be home on Friday against Twin Valley and then play Muhlenberg on Monday. Exeter plays the Mules on Thursday night in another big crossover. For the Mustangs tonight, they got a big second-half effort from Jameer Johnson. He had 3 points in the first half because of foul troubles, had 16 points in the second half, including a big chunk of the offense for the Mustangs in the fourth quarter. He finishes with a team-high 19. Andrew Calantuomo kept the Mustangs in it for a while in the second quarter. He had 10 points at halftime and only 2 in the second half. Stephen Mayo was 7 and just 7 tonight from Matt Kaler. Jeff Van Gorder talked about it. It's just a tough night for Matt Kaler. He just couldn't find his stroke, and sometimes shooters have it, and then they have those nights where they just didn't. It was one of those nights for Matt Kaler. He finishes with just 7. We talked about the balance for the Exeter Eagles, and it shows up tonight. Carter Redding was big in the first half. He had 8 of his 12 points at halftime in the first quarter, 12 at halftime. Didn't score in the second half. Didn't matter because Brady Murray and Aiden Dauble carried the load from that point forward. Murray with a game-high 20, including 5 threes on the night. He's now got 37 threes on the season. And Aiden Dauble, a very workmanlike effort. Without a doubt, he had a double-double. I know the points. He had 18 points. I didn't count the rebounds, but I guarantee it was more than 10.
And Braylon Reinert with a strong game inside for the Eagles. I'm sure he had 8 or 9 rebounds at least.
So the Mustangs fall to 11-4 and now 4-2 in Berks Division 1. The Eagles now in first place in Division 2 at also 4-1, and they are 7-7 on the season. Again, more high school basketball for you on Friday night. We will be at Wyomissing in a Division 3-4 crossover. It'll be the only links to Wyomissing Spartans, and as always, our tip-off time is right around 7 o'clock. Thanks to Tom Legath and his staff here at Exeter High School for the hospitality. It's now time for us, after a break, to go to the WEEU studios and the Scoreboard Show. Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob with the Scoreboard Show. More high school basketball conversation coming your way next on 8:30 a.m. WE in Reading. For Rich Garcella and for Sean Tansky back here at Exeter High School, my name is Bob McCool. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you with more high school basketball on Friday here on WEEU in Reading.
You've been listening to High School Basketball on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. High School Basketball on WEEU is brought to you by
Adelphia Seafood, American Diner, Bachman's Roofing, Solar, and Remodeling, Chick-fil-A, Cross Keys Insurance, Diefenbach Snacks, Elite Fuel Service, Houndstown Reading, Judd Firestone Plumbing, Kuhn Funeral Home, Overhead Door Company, Redner's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real